Hi everyone. Thank you for joining me for another session of Appscan Tuesday. This is episode number 34 and we have a very special session today. And the reason this one is special is because we are not going to talk about Appscan in specific, not about demoing Appscan. We are going to talk about how you can expand your application security knowledge with information that we provide you, with resources that we provided with you. Before you hang up, this is really important. I want you to see at least the beginning. Then you decide if it's not important for you, although it really is. And for helping me with this message, I have Neil Jones from our marketing team. Hi, Neil.
Hi, Eitan. How are you?
I'm very good. Thank you, Neil. And you?
I'm doing great, thanks.
Neil and I are both located in Massachusetts. We are under snowstorm at the moment. Hopefully everything will go well. And we won't need to record it again. So, Neil, this was an amazing year for both of us, right? In Appscan, Appscan had 2020 was crazy with the release of V10 and Code Sweep and adding IAST. A lot of technologies, a lot of dependency on you and the team to share that knowledge with our customers and more, right?
Right.
And you told me, Eitan, this is a good time of the year to talk about it. So why is that, Neil?
Yeah, so when we're at the end of the year, of course, none of us would probably want to repeat the year 2020 because it has been quite a year for all of us. But we've had a great year within AppScan. So when we're at the end of the year, this is a good time to talk about professional development. As you well know, Eitan, based on your experience, a lot of AppScan teams are looking to make changes or increase their knowledge in the new year. And then the reality is, hopefully, all of us have a little more time available over the next couple of weeks to be able to actually take time to learn about things. So that's why we thought it was a good time to talk about this topic. And I'm confident people are going to stay tuned.
Yeah, and taking a step back, relaxing, not working all the time is important, but people might get bored a week or two, and we want to show them a lot of the great collateral that you created for them to learn.
Especially when they have more than a foot of snow in their front yard like we do.
Especially then. Now, as you mentioned, 2020 was a tough year. I think that even more than on my role and on dev, it was for marketing. You guys didn't have any events. You had to reinvent some of the ways to communicate a message. Just a few thoughts about that before we...
It was a whirlwind, let's just say. As you probably may be aware, I joined HCL in February. I was going to be working at the Chelmsford office, and I reported there 2.5 weeks until I'm from my home office speaking to you right now, which has been the case since then. But from our standpoint, what we learned is that virtual events do work. We needed to tell a better story. Things like the V10 launch, the 10.01, .2.03, the constant drumbeat of those really helped us. And then additional platforms. I can't believe 34 episodes of Appscan Tuesdays, and we have the application paranoia as well. So we were able to tell our story outside of things like traditional events that we would have gone to, like Black Hat.
And it was awesome, right? I mean, this virtual thing worked well. I do miss, and I do hope that in 2021 we can go out there again and celebrate and have our booth and have maybe the launch event of V10 that we couldn't do back in March in the pub. So we'll have that again.
Agreed.
And Neil, what are we going to talk about today in specific? What are you going to show us?
Right. So what I will be talking about is our brand new resources page on our HCL website. So working collaboratively with my colleague, Michaela, what happened was this year we've created so much content. We developed more than 25 blogs and got those published. Working collaboratively with our team, we had more than 30 YouTube videos that were added. In addition to that, we have all the stories around V10 and the product launches. So the long story short is we had a ton of content, but it wasn't easy to find it. So what I'll be talking to you today about is our new resources page where users can learn about Appscan more conveniently, or if they just want to learn about application security, they can do that more conveniently as well.
So let's start with that. Show us this amazing resource page.
All right, let me go over. Let me share my screen here. Let's take a look at our brand new page here. So first of all, I'm looking at the main HCL AppScan page, and you'll just go ahead and click on resources here. And I'm going to go ahead and accept cookies so you can see the whole page here. But the first thing I wanted to call to everyone's attention is the live chat capability that we now have on the bottom right-hand side. So as we made changes to our website and updated them, you can also communicate with us more effectively and more easily with the live chat. So let's move down and look at this new resources page, which we're very proud of. So first of all, in the top section, we have what we call featured resources. So on the left side, you'll see our Application Paranoia podcast, where you can listen to the episodes there. We'll talk about that more in just a second because it's further down the page too. This is Appscan. Obviously, you're familiar with it, or you wouldn't be watching this session today. So you can actually see the episodes there as well. And then we have the Appscan blog to the right-hand side. And I do realize, Eitan, that your viewers are more of a technical audience here. So I wanted to call their attention to the fact that we have a very nice cross-site scripting blog that you wrote several months ago. And we also have a SQL injection and a sensitive data blog that I wrote along with my colleague, Rob Cuddy, as well. Let's move down a little bit further on the page here. And the next section is our Appsec Insights. So this section is really most about thought leadership. So recently, many of you may be familiar, we released a Hahnemann report that we sponsored, which was application security in the DevOps environment. So you can actually get the report here. And to the right-hand side, that's on the left-hand side. And on the right-hand side, you'll see Eitan's webinar with Larry Poneman, where he discusses the findings along with Larry. In the center of the page, we have a really nice IaaS white paper. And then on the left here, where we have our webinar, A CISO's Perspective on Managing Application Security. With that one, you have our CISO, Joe Rubino, talking about how he manages application security and how he also manages work from home during a pandemic at a global company.
And of course, I mean, it's probably clear to our viewers, but this is a snapshot today. When you log in a month or 2 months from now, we may have different content. We will update the content as we have new and interesting things to share.
That is correct, Eitan, for sure. And so in the middle section here, we have Application Paranoia that I mentioned earlier. That's our podcast. And you'll see we just concluded the season for Application Paranoia with a season finale and holiday special. And prior to that, Eitan was actually on episode 16, which you can see here as well. So what we've done is we've tried to make this easier for listeners for the podcast as well, with the 5 most recent episodes streaming automatically, or actually feeding, I should say, automatically to our page here. And obviously, by clicking on or visiting Application Paranoia, you can see all 17 episodes. But these are the most recent for your convenience.
And if you're not familiar with this is really a lightweight, easy listening for a thought leadership approach. I think I know we had over 10,000 downloads or listens or whatever you want to call it for the episodes in season 1. It's really great. I'm a big fan, and I was happy to be on episode 16.
Really I agree, Eitan. Taking a look here, you'll see in a couple of places we spotlight our blogs, so I won't go into a lot of detail with these, but I did want to call everyone's attention to the one on the left, !AST. This is an interesting blog by our colleague Shahar. And basically on this one, he talks about how application security testing, the type of activity you do, whether it be DAST, SAST, IAST, can essentially be based on the type of people within your organization who are doing the testing. It's actually one of my most highly recommended blogs that I have been involved in the year. So
I see also the Aleph Research one, which is, I'm going to read it later, I'm sure.
That's correct. Yes, Eitan. That one talks about wireless security, obviously, a very important topic in 2020. And then in this middle section here, we have another one about IAST, again, a very one of our actually most popular topics across all of our content this year. And then we have a couple that are more business oriented. We have the 4 key takeaways to manage AppSec more effectively. And then on the far right side of this carousel, we have 5 key reasons to invest in application security testing. That one is popular if you're looking to possibly do application security testing for the first time, or you're possibly looking to increase the amount of investment you do in it. So a lot of good content here.
And again, as we discussed earlier, right, there were a lot of maybe 20 blogs or more you mentioned to me earlier.
That's correct, Eitan. We're just hitting the tip of the iceberg. Looking at them here, you'll see some more in just a moment. DevSecOps has obviously been a key and critical topic for us in 2020, but we intend for that to be even a bigger topic in 2021. So let's begin at the right here, since we were talking about the blog. So this is from our colleague Florin. Here he talks about developer empowerment and how you can basically use tools like Code Sweep, which appears to the left, our community edition, to be able to empower developers to address security issues more effectively on their own. In the middle section here, we talked about the Poneman report earlier. Here is where Larry Poneman's recap of the findings in a simple blog format is available to our viewers. Did you have any questions about these, Eitan?
No, I'm just trying to be cautious on time. I think we are already a lot into it, so maybe the next ones we will go faster.
Okay, all right. So here we talk about why Appscan. We have the ESG technical review, which is an analyst firm did a technical review of Appscan. So we have that there. In the middle section, a white paper about doing more with fewer resources in AppSec, a very popular topic during the pandemic. And then near and dear to all of our hearts on the right-hand side is information about Appscan V10.
Mm-hmm.
We have some more.
Important if you have not updated to V10 yet, if you want to know what's the benefit or how to do it, we've built a page dedicated just for everything in V10 and how to get to it.
And that's correct, Eitan. You'll find it right there. Mm-hmm. All right. And then we do have some more blogs here. In the interest of time, I won't go through all of them. Once again, trying to make our blogs more accessible so that more people are able to take a look at them. We also have a carousel, which includes the most popular episodes of YouTube Live here. We'll take a look at that real quick. And then finally, we have our Appscan brochures for cloud, standard, enterprise, and source. See our brochures in one convenient place where people could find them easily against one another in one place. They're available here. And then finally, we have help and support, documentation, and also our demo, and at the top of the page, our free trial as well. So folks can always try Appscan if they haven't already.
And this is important because if you have Appscan, let's say that you have Appscan Standard and you want to learn about Appscan Source or you want to learn about Appscan on Cloud, you not only have all the information here, but you can schedule a demo directly from the web page. Of course, you can reach out to your HCL representative, but if you are not sure who that person is and not sure how to reach out, you have the chat here. You can schedule a demo. We want you to learn more about what you have, what you are entitled to, but also where you can grow with us. So Neil, I love this. I love this page. Really appreciate all the work. Let's bring you back to the studio and continue our discussion.
All right, I should be back.
Yep, you're back. So,
all right.
So as you said, Neil, right? If I'm trying to summarize, and maybe next week I will do a summary of what happened this year. We've added over 15 languages and frameworks, and just the recent was those, Kubernetes and Docker files. It's amazing amount of work, amazing amount of content, and add to that the webinars and the blogs and the videos.
Yes.
It's easy to get confused. It's easy to miss some of the stuff. So the Twitter is a good place to start. There is also option to register to Appscan News, more technical stuff, where we ship new versions in ASOC or in the on-prem.
Yeah, spoiler alert for your viewers. At least once a week, I get to say on Twitter, as a person who helps manage that handle, Appscan, another update. The updates just keep coming. Is a quite a common, and that might be a language update. That might be the IAC you're talking about today. We are really blessed with the amount of technical updates that allows us to tell a broader story, not just collateral, but also the broader product story.
Yes, and when this video goes live in Tuesday, it will already be probably 6 days since we shipped the IAC, the infrastructure as code, and it's still not going to be the last release of the year. We still plan to have one more in ASOC, specifically in Appscan on Cloud. So a lot of updates. Thank you, Neil, for showing us and for the work that you and Michaela did on the site. Having everything under one place.
You're most welcome, Eitan, and I would be remiss as a product marketing guy if I didn't say, please like this video, please share it, follow Appscan Tuesdays if you're not following already.
Thank you, Neil. And if I'm to choose one collateral, one thing that we did really awesome outside of CodeSweep, my favorite would be probably the Ponemon report. At first, it was hard for me to read, but there are a lot of good insights there, so I recommend
I would highly recommend that. And so there's two ways to handle it, Eitan, and I'll keep this short. The first is, if you want the full report, you can get it from the resources page that I just showed. But also, if you want a lighter version, go ahead and click on the blogs link that we showed you. And there's a very nice write-up by Larry Ponemon, which basically summarizes the activities there. And then there's also a blog by me where I take the financial angle of it. So if you're looking to kind of justify application security in 2021, those are the perfect blogs that will take you no more than 5 minutes to look at.
Cool. So I'll finish with a question. I know we're not betting people, I hope. CodeSweep is now on 5,850 something downloads by the end of the year. What number do you think we will hit?
In my head, it came 6,011.
Let's go with that. So 6,011, six-pack from me if you win.
All right.
Bye, Neil.
I can refrigerate it in the front lawn today.
Definitely.
So thank you.
Bye-bye,
Thanks,
Neil.
Eitan.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me.